Hey Richard, how's it going? Looks like you're first on the bat. And then everyone else turns up. Noel, Greg, Stuart, Taz, Pedro. Why isn't Pedro out and about finding more MacBooks? Looking for those Easter eggs hidden in the for sale columns. Okay, let's get this. You need to turn off. So nothing special at the moment, just that I'd quickly drop in, say hello, make sure everyone knew I was alive, but everyone knows I'm alive. A quiet weekend in a quiet pandemic time. It's... hey, I know if you're up. I got the right one? Yep. Sometimes I wonder whether I've got the right driver or not, even though I have color coded them. Hey Rob Brown. Floor hockey with the iPhone. That's a good way of saying it. Okay. Still, it's good to get these jobs. Yeah, they're nothing technically interesting, so to speak, but mind you, I am going to have to wear my glasses on this one. As I bring this one up, it's going to chip some glass at me. You only do that once without your glasses. Okay. God damn it, the battery's crapped itself. Okay, it's not too bad. It's a little bit chafed up. I'll tell the person that it's a bit... I forgot to tell them or ask them or get approval for replacing the battery if it's a bit shonky. So I'll have to miss out on this particular instance. It's not bad, but they've had some grit get in here and chew away at it a bit. Hey Rodrigo, Lee. Good. So everyone else getting plenty of work, or is everybody all quiet? Unfortunately, none of my anticipated job deliveries arrived. So it's a very quiet weekend for me. And then on Tuesday, everything will arrive. And then that means that everybody's going to be like, have you finished my machine yet? Have you finished my machine yet? Have you finished my machine yet? It's going to be fun. Which means I'll probably make mistakes. Hopefully I won't. But I won't be surprised if I do. Any loose screws? No. The chassis's got a very slight bend in it, but it's so slight that it's not worth trying to get it out. Okay. Hey, Defcom. All quiet in the UK. I gotta admit, it would not be nice to be a person who, is currently off work and no idea when they're going to go back to work. That would not be a nice way to be at the moment. Damn. There you go, I made a mistake. I ripped that cable by accident. I have not done that ever. I've done it now. Good thing I've got plenty of replacements. It's not ripped, but it's just pulled away, split away from the surface contacts. It's bad. Naturally, of course, it happens on a live stream where I can't edit anything out. Hey, Jane Zimmy. Rodrigo, you haven't had a job in a month. I'm driving you mad. I was already going insane enough yesterday because I didn't have any new jobs. I do not like it one bit. I mean, there's plenty of work I should be doing. Like working on my job ticket system, and I've got plenty of software things I need to work on. DOS Dude 1's latest video? What was DOS Dude 1's latest video? I haven't seen him put up one. Oh. Maxing out a GeForce CPU. Oh, that sounds very much like DOS Dude 1. Why are you stuck there? Scalpel. Scalpel. Slightly concerned. Oh, there it is. Right there. Rubbish. Alright, let's have a look at the damage I've done to this. Hopefully it's just a case of separating the pieces, but let's see, here we go. See what I did? I grabbed the wrong thing and pulled that apart. I should be able to go back together. Pardon me. Trick is doing it nicely. Hey, Wayne Taylor. Yours is going to be lead-free solder in there. It's going to make a mess of things. Rodrigo, we're messing with it because I just tore it open, or split it apart, and I could put a replacement in, but I'd rather see if I can at least keep the original one rather than putting in a third-party one. Yeah, I know you can get the third-party ones cheap enough, but a little too often I've found them to be a wee bit suspect. Yeah, I'm gonna have to push this down. Shoot. Yep, just lifting tracks left, right, and center there, bull. So here we go. Hey, ITC. And the alcohol goes flying off the edge. That's not good. Alcohol's too valuable to be thrown around like that. Wow, what a mess. Discussing the the Jessa Jones mask scenario. Alright, this already has a plate on it. Has had that. What the? Oh, this is a HO. Oh, this is a pre-built. That's hilarious. You know, I basically never buy these ones. When there was a shortage of screens, months ago or a month ago, I was forced to have to buy one of these. And hilariously, this one already has the flex. Ah, you gotta love coincidences. Quinky dinks. I mean, really, you just can't make that up. You put that into a book, a story, make that up, and people will say, that's a load of bollocks. That would never happen in real life. And yet, really, I mean, hundreds of phones, I buy one screen, and this is the one that I tear the flex on, and what do you see? That's crazy. Audio might be breaking up, but that's the downside is they completely botched the... Damn. Okay, that's better. Crazy little world. Is the microphone a little sketchy? I'll try change batteries. Maybe I was yelling too much. It could be peeking out. Let's try something. Time to yell. 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 Well, it's probably a little bit quieter now, but it might not peak out as much. I don't know if it's a battery flat. It could have been just that I was getting too excited and it went into the red zone. I don't believe a compressor here, so it could have just peaked out. More dropping out than clipping. One day I'll buy a replacement unit, and I will try really hard not to drop it, particularly the microphone cable. Alright. The only downside is, I don't know why they'd bother with this, but they left the retainer plastic strap on there, and it's kind of pointless if they're going to leave it over the top of the electronics cover there, because that will just put pressure on some random part of the board. Not a lot, but anyway, so we'll just take it off outright. Yeah, Rodrigo, I don't think the Linux version of Open Broadcaster has a compressor built in. This feels weird, not reassembling a display. Using someone else's pre-constructed display. I can understand if you're doing 20 or 30 screens a day that these pre-built ones will certainly be very cost effective in terms of saving you time, but because I only get, you know, a few a week, it's just not worth it for me. I still find it funny that I tear the flex and this one's got a flexor already. I'm not a big fan of the whole think of the children type pitch, mostly because it tends to be abused. It's more like a veto. And it's like, you can't top that. You're not allowed to. And it's like, damn it. Yeah, be better off to argue it on other grounds, whatever you're trying to do. I mean, there are some circumstances, I think, but overall, most of the time it's a bit like declaring someone's Hitler in an argument and invoking the, I've forgotten the law now, Gothenburg law or something like that, which immediately terminates the argument. Okay, we've got something, yeah, so lift that back up again. Yeah, I saw Northridge. Well, I saw the video. I think that's the trouble with events like what we're enduring right now, is after the initial camaraderie and everybody come together in a great big global hug of love, within a week or two it usually descends right on back to how it was before, everyone at each other's throats. And I think sometimes the only way that we will obtain global unity is if we're basically invaded by aliens. And then once we've dealt with the aliens, we'll go back to fighting with each other again. Degrees of unity is relative to the threat at hand. So you get people who hate each other in a house, in a family, but then if the family gets threatened, all they unify and they're like, we're family, we're all, you know, we may hate each other, but we're family. And so on and so forth, escalate all the way up. Paulie 540, you're rationed to 5 sheets of TP per day. That's pretty scary. Use the shower a lot. Tails 303, I actually don't have that many spare machines lying around. Oh man, this person did not give me their passcode. God, I hate that. Why won't people give me free access to their information? How am I supposed to test things? Alright, that looks good. That's good enough. I said to him I needed it to be able to test the screen and everything else. But since they didn't give it to me, if there's any issues, that's on them. Richard Becker, what song did you get? Audio's getting worse. Defcom, I'll try change batteries. I'm fairly sure the problem is actually some fault along this cable or up at the microphone. Unfortunately, I don't seem to be able to get a replacement microphone. I have to buy the whole kit, which is a bit of a nuisance. Well, I guess I got these parts here that I can throw into my iPhone 6S pile rather. No sound? There's sound. Yeah, Wayne, the iPhone boxes are used quite a lot actually. Alright, well, what I need to do, since I've got a couple of minutes left, is I need to make a short snippet of a video to demonstrate how to fix your iPad heating pad, because I think it's a fairly common fault that's coming up, and people are going to want to know how to do it. So without further ado, now I've already done some other parts of this video, and the microscope camera was dead when I didn't need it to be. So I will have to do it again and pretend that this is my first time, which I can't because I've already fixed it, but we'll simulate it. Alright, so many of you will have these heating pads, and quite a lot of them will one day fail, and you'll start seeing the temperature flicking around back and forth all over the place, and usually it fails in a way that it's well below the temperature that you set, which means that this stays on permanently, which means that you cook whatever is sitting on top of here, and if you're really unlucky, you get a household fire and everything goes up in flames and you die. But hopefully we can fix that and prevent that from happening again. So these are comparatively easy to get open. Let's see, we can actually take it straight from the front. If you peel that back, there's the classic hidden screw in there. Same for the other side. Obviously make sure it's disconnected. Now the little buggers made it so tight that you kind of have to rub the edges of the cables a little bit to get it out, which I don't like, but that's the way it is. Anyway, the key element here are the thermocouple wires. That's these two black ones here. Now I don't know if you can see in there, the thermocouple just rests in this little here, and when you take off this metal assembly, if you want to, just through these two back screws, you can just pull it up and through. And it's just a little glass bead type thermocouple. Anyway, what happens is the solder they use to hold those wires in is atrocious. It's really gritty, grainy stuff, poorly done, and it just breaks loose. So unfortunately I've already redone this one, but it gives you an idea. What will happen is one of these will typically have broken free because they let the insulation go back too far and it's just frayed away. or because the solder was so awful that it just simply physically broke and is rattling up and down through the hole. So that's all you have to do, is you just trim these back a little bit, redo them, push them through, give them some nice leaded solder. You can take this board out. Just there's 4 screws, and it gives you a bit of an easier access if you prefer. And that typically will fix these. Typically. But you can see the leaded solder sort of, I mean, look at this sort of thing. These are actually pretty good compared to what these ones look like. These were truly atrocious. It was like they just used sugar and water to make the solder. Anyway, so once you do that, it should all go back to working again. And then you have the fun part of trying to jam this back in without damaging things too much. I mean, really, why couldn't they just cut another 1mm? Why do they always have to be so damn precise in the wrong areas? There we go. I'm not sure if it's a thermistor or a thermocouple. Either way, it misbehaves. And I nearly lost a board over it because I was using this as my drying system because I didn't have my reflow oven set up. And I was fortunate, at least I do keep all of my heating element systems on a mechanical timer. So when the mechanical timer kicked in, it would have saved it, but the board would have been damaged at that point. Anyway, and proof that we are up and running. Shoot, no idea what I just turned off then. And the temperature is reasonable again, that's 29. Which of course is the 35 now. That's because you're heating up. Yeah, so that's working. Turn it off before I cook myself. So yeah, if you have one of those, pull out the control board, have a look. You'll probably find one of the wires is having a bad day. Andrew, will those pads work well for preheating boards? You could probably use them up to about 120, 130 centigrade. So if that's enough for you, if you've got a really big board, that can be useful. The upside of the 120, 130 range is I suppose you can handle the board with gloves and not get hurt too much. TC. Yeah, I didn't really look too closely. It was in a glass bead. I mean, I've got like the K-type couples for my multimeter. And so I wasn't sure whether it was an NTC or whether it was one of these sort of things with a glass bulb around it. Yeah. So that's all they are for, that is a thermocouple, this one. We don't know what it is in the heat pad though. Either way, it doesn't matter. The fault still remains the same. You may have to overdub. Whoa, is it that bad? Time for a MacBook Pro question? Yeah, you may as well while I'm here. I've still got about 15 minutes before the person turns up. This is the board that we were working on the other day where we cannot get it to boot properly. It gets to SO state, but we don't get any CPU activity. And it's been through the ultrasonic. You remember the caramelization and crumbling of the edge bonding there. This is the one we did the SMC replacement on with no success. Like I said, it's been through the ultrasonic. Looks like I didn't get everything. And unfortunately it didn't change a damn thing. So it probably is a dead CPU after all. Still, there's no mic channel, there's no nothing on this. It's all just straight from this to a USB, and that's it. It's not the same as the... yeah, I know the other ones you're talking about where you can switch between channels. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's peaking out on my side or what. 2012 15-inch A1286 dual graphic screen shimmers affected by clamshell angle external. I would probably say new screen, be my guess. Sorry, I don't really actually have a on that one. The reason why I'm looking over this board again is just in case there's a resistor that that is sort of got an undercut pattern, something like that. I do get tempted at times to just go ahead and replace all the major chips on it until I find what is actually going on, because this is one of these sort of faults that we don't really know why it's happening. And so it'd be nice to spend a couple of days to try and at least get an idea as to what is causing the problem. Well, I'm dropping almost 2 dB off this, so tend not to get too enthusiastic with my voice, so it shouldn't be peaking out. Hey Sonia, in schematics, what is the best way to understand the resistor type that is written underneath? Still, what do you mean by that? Like, usually you see the size, and then you see the wattage rating, and that's about it, really. So you got ohm, size, and wattage rating. Dropping out N motorboating. That's very weird. I wonder if it's my USB. When the audio goes a bit dodgy, the image pixelates in the screen. Alright, so this one here, I could have... That'd be annoying if it's USB. Let me try something. Bloody USB. Let's see if this is any better. Sometimes my machine gets into a bit of a bad habit. The motherboard does not have enough USB channels on it. I do have another USB card in there, but even still, every now and then it will decide to start having a bit of a fit. Turn off, yeah, this is the 165 from the prior video where we couldn't decide what was going on. We replaced the SMC, and we still didn't have any success. So I was just going over it after I have ultrasonicked it to see if there was anything that maybe looked like a pad that was being undercut, by corrosion or anything like that. But so far I haven't spotted anything that I've been looking at. I mean, it only takes that one resistor to not be there. Though usually if they are undercut, they tend to be intermittent rather than completely dead, and unfortunately this one is completely dead. Alright, audio fine now. Yes, definitely bandwidth problems globally, certainly domestically, because our government changed their plans. Well, rather, there was a good plan, the government changed, and the government that came in said, we can't be supporting the old plan because that was by the people that we are opposed to. So let's change it. And they made a complete and utter cluster fire truck of it. Intentionally, in my opinion. Because they're protecting their media mogul buddies that help them get in. Either way, it's something that's cost Australia dearly, and we probably won't recover from it for probably 30, 40 years, I would say. Wayne, probably when the house is under my name, we will have a good look around. Stuart, it doesn't even build to a high speed. It just sits there constantly, and there's absolutely no CPU activity. The CPU does get a little bit warm, but not excessively warm. And unfortunately, I don't have a suitable frequency counter to be able to check to see that we do have the 25 megahertz or whatever. And the only real hint that we got is that damage happened around here. And I have replaced these caps to no avail. So I kind of just, I can't imagine that this one missing cap is going to be at fault, because it's just running parallel for the rest of these. And these are all stuck down. There's more than ample. We should at least get some life out of the CPU, even if it's not stable. So a bit of a loss. I think it's time very much to give up on this one. So I probably actually should now head back, because otherwise the customer's going to turn up, hit the doorbell, and I'm not going to be there. And then that's going to require my wife to come running down, and she's going to be like, why did you make me have to come down here when you knew the customer was coming? So yeah, probably best I pack up my gear and head on out. Anyway, maybe I'll find something else to do over this weekend, but for now, that's it. It's pretty quiet. Just thought I'd touch base with you all and let you all bicker over my audio quality. Hopefully the audio is now doing okay. We'll see how it goes in the next stream. And then after that, maybe after the next reboot. Because it seems like every time it reboots, things are all different again. So, you'll take care. I'll see you next time. Catch you later.